Dr. Avul Pakir Jainalabdin Abdul Kalam, as Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, slightly known as Missile Man, stands tall in modern Indian history as a symbol of selfless dedication, humility, and scientific genius. Revered for his extraordinary contributions to India's defense and space capabilities, here is a detailed history of Abdul from birth to death. Now let's start. From his humble beginnings, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was born on October 15, 1931, in Rameswaram, Tamil Nadu, to a Tamil Muslim family. His father, Jainalabdin Marakaya, was a boat owner and imam of the local mosque, while his mother, Ashiyama, was a homemaker. The family, though not wealthy, lived a modest life, relying primarily on the income generated from ferrying pilgrims across the waters between Rameswaram and the nearby pilgrimage town of Dhanushkodi. Growing up in a multi-religious, tolerant society deeply rooted in spiritual values, Kalam imbibed a blend of faith, respect for diversity, and an unshakable belief in the power of education. Despite being financially constrained, Kalam's parents ensured that their children had a conducive environment for learning. Kalam was particularly influenced by his father's wisdom and austerity, often recalling how his father could resolve disputes in their small community with patience and deep understanding. His father's stoicism and kindness were traits that would deeply shape Kalam's outlook on life and leadership. Kalam was an avid learner from an early age. His curiosity about the world around him pushed him to ask questions, and he was fascinated by science, particularly the mechanics of flight and space. As a child, he would rise at 4 a.m., help his father at the mosque, and then go to school. To support his family financially, he took up the job of distributing newspapers. This demanding routine did not deter his academic ambitions. Rather, it instilled in him the virtues of discipline, hard work, and perseverance. Kalam's education was the stepping stone to his extraordinary achievements. He completed his early schooling at Schwartz Higher Secondary School in Ramanathapuram. Despite facing challenges in mastering subjects like mathematics, Kalam developed a deep interest in science, which was fueled by his teachers. One teacher, in particular, Eodurai Solomon, left a lasting impression on him. Solomon encouraged Kalam to believe that he was destined to soar high, giving him the confidence to pursue his dreams against all odds. After completing his school education, Kalam moved to St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli, in 1950 to pursue a bachelor's degree in physics. Although he enjoyed his time at St. Joseph's, Kalam soon realized that his true passion lay in engineering and aeronautics, not in the abstract realms of physics. Upon graduation in 1954, Kalam decided to follow his passion for flying and joined the Madras Institute of Technology, MIT, in 1955, one of the premier institutions in India for engineering studies. At MIT, Kalam faced one of the first significant turning points in his life. During his final year, he was assigned a project to design a prototype aircraft. The project's complexity and the high expectations of his professors initially overwhelmed him, but Kalam rose to the challenge. He worked tirelessly to complete the project on time, and his successful work earned him the respect of his peers and professors. This experience further deepened his desire to work in the field of aeronautics. After graduating from MIT in 1957, Kalam harbored dreams of becoming a fighter pilot. However, he narrowly missed securing a spot in the Indian Air Force, ranking 9th while only 8 positions were available. This rejection was a major disappointment, but instead of letting it defeat him, Kalam redirected his focus and resolved to serve the nation in other ways. This mindset of turning failure into an opportunity was one that he would carry throughout his life. After his dreams of becoming a pilot were dashed, Kalam joined the Aeronautical Development Establishment of the Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, in 1958 as a scientist. His early work involved designing a small hovercraft. Though this project did not meet with significant success, It marked the beginning of a career that would soon bring monumental changes to India's defense capabilities. In 1969, Kalam was transferred to the Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, where he played a vital role as the project director for India's first indigenous satellite launch vehicle program. ISRO had been newly formed with a mission to harness space technology for national development, and Kalam, with his technical expertise and leadership, became a natural choice for leading critical projects. His work at ISRO laid the foundation for one of India's most significant scientific achievements, the successful launch of Rohini-1, which was placed in orbit by the Satellite Launch Vehicle, SLV-3, in July 1980. This was a historic moment for India, as it demonstrated the country's capability to build and launch indigenous satellites and rockets. Under Kalam's leadership, India's space program began to take off, and ISRO's projects expanded significantly. His contribution earned him nationwide recognition as a leading scientist in aerospace technology. After his success with ISRO, Dr. Kalam was called upon to lead India's missile development program. In 1982, he rejoined DRDO as the director of the organization, where he was tasked with heading the Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, IGMDP. This was a high-stakes project, given the growing strategic defense needs of India, particularly in light of hostile neighbors. Kalam, who by now had become synonymous with India's advancements in aerospace technology, once again rose to the occasion. Under his leadership, several major missile projects were launched, most notably the development of Agni, a medium-range ballistic missile, and Prithvi, a surface-to-surface missile. These two missile systems became cornerstones of India's strategic defense arsenal. The successful testing and deployment of these missiles transformed India's defense capabilities, earning Kalam the moniker, the Missile Man of India. Beyond the technical triumphs, what set Kalam apart as a leader was his ability to inspire and galvanize his team of scientists. His leadership style was one of inclusion and inspiration. He was known for his tireless work ethic, often working alongside his team deep into the night, and for his genuine belief in empowering younger scientists. His humility and approachability made him an exceptional leader, one who could balance the immense technical demands of the projects with the morale and motivation of his team. During this period, Kalam also played a key role in negotiating defense deals with foreign nations and securing the necessary technology to further India's missile and space programs. His work earned him several accolades, including the Padma Bhushan in 1981 and the Padma Vibhushan in 1990, both among India's highest civilian awards. The Pokhran-2 nuclear tests. One of the most defining moments in Dr. Kalam's career came in 1998 when India conducted its second round of nuclear tests under the codename Operation Shakti at Pokhran in Rajasthan. Kalam was the chief scientific advisor to the Prime Minister and the head of the DRDO at the time. His involvement in the tests was crucial in ensuring their success. These nuclear tests, conducted under Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's leadership, established India as a nuclear-armed nation, significantly altering its global standing and its strategic defense capabilities. The Pokhran-2 tests, which included 5 nuclear explosions, were met with both admiration and criticism internationally, but for Kalam and India, it was a triumph that showcased the country's scientific and technological prowess. Following these successful tests, Kalam became a national hero, embodying India's spirit of self-reliance and technological advancement. His contributions to the nation's defense and technological self-sufficiency were unparalleled, and his role in developing India's nuclear capabilities was widely acknowledged, both within India and internationally. Kalam's scientific achievements had made him a household name, but his next role would elevate him to an entirely new level of public adoration. In 2002, Kalam was nominated as a presidential candidate by the National Democratic Alliance, NDA, with broad support from all major political parties, including the opposition. His nomination was a unique choice, as he was not a politician by profession but a scientist and engineer. His rise to the presidency was a reflection of his wide-reaching appeal and the respect he commanded across political lines. On July 25, 2002, Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam was sworn in as the 11th President of India. His presidency was unique for several reasons. Known for his simplicity, humility, and focus on education and scientific progress, Kalam brought a refreshing change to the largely ceremonial role of the Indian presidency. He was the third president to have been elected without a background in politics, after Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan and Dr. Zakir Hussain, making him a non-partisan figure, beloved by people across the political spectrum. Often referred to as the People's President, Kalam was known for his accessibility and his deep connection with ordinary citizens, especially students. He transformed the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the president's official residence, from a seat of protocol to a welcoming home for the common man. During his 5-year tenure, Kalam met with thousands of students, young leaders, and thinkers, encouraging them to dream big and contribute to the nation's development. Kalam's tenure as president was marked by his emphasis on India's vision for the future. He often spoke about his dream of a developed India by 2020, a theme that he elaborated on in his famous book, India 2020, A Vision for the New Millennium. In this work, Kalam outlined his roadmap for transforming India into a fully developed nation by 2020, through the combined efforts of its citizens, especially the youth, in areas like technology, agriculture, and education. Throughout his presidency, Kalam was driven by his deep conviction that India had the potential to become a global superpower, but only if it invested in its people, technology, and education. His speeches frequently emphasized the importance of empowering the youth, strengthening scientific research, and fostering innovation. One of his famous quotes is, "Dream, dream, dream. Dreams transform into thoughts and thoughts result in action." This message resonated with young Indians, many of whom saw in Kalam an inspiring leader who embodied the possibility of achieving greatness through hard work and perseverance. Kalam was also deeply invested in issues of national security and development. He believed in leveraging technology to address India's pressing problems, poverty, illiteracy, and rural development. His vision for India was holistic. He wanted to see an India where science and spirituality coexisted harmoniously, where economic growth was complemented by social equity, and where technological advancements uplifted the underprivileged. During his presidency, Kalam's initiative to open the doors of Rashtrapati Bhavan to students and common citizens was widely appreciated. He invited thousands of schoolchildren to visit the presidential palace, interact with him, and participate in discussions about their dreams and aspirations. These interactions were not mere formalities for Kalam. He saw the youth as the torch-bearers of India's future. His favorite audience was always young people, and he made it a point to engage with them directly, addressing their concerns, and encouraging them to think beyond conventional boundaries. A president above politics, Kalam's presidency was marked by his ability to rise above political affiliations. Despite having little political background, he navigated his role with grace and diplomacy. He was known for maintaining the integrity of his office, often taking a neutral stand on politically sensitive issues. His decisions were guided by his unwavering commitment to the welfare of the nation, rather than any political pressure. One of the most notable instances of his presidency was in 2005, when he reluctantly signed the controversial Office of Profit Bill after returning it once for reconsideration. His decision was driven by his constitutional obligations, and it demonstrated his respect for democratic processes, even when his personal views were in conflict. Kalam's tenure also saw him grappling with significant national events. One of these was the Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004, which caused widespread devastation in India and other parts of Southeast Asia. As president, Kalam visited affected areas and personally interacted with victims. His words of empathy and encouragement brought solace to many during that difficult time. One of the key legacies of his presidency was his relentless push for nuclear energy as a means of securing India's energy future. Having been an integral part of India's nuclear program, Kalam was a strong advocate of nuclear technology for peaceful purposes. He believed that nuclear power could help meet India's growing energy demands while ensuring environmental sustainability. When Kalam's term as president ended in 2007, there was widespread speculation that he might be asked to continue for a second term, owing to his immense popularity. However, Kalam declined, stating that he wanted to return to his first love, teaching and interacting with students. After leaving office, Kalam remained a much sought-after public speaker and continued to engage with academic institutions, both in India and abroad. True to his word, Kalam spent his post-presidency years traveling across India, delivering lectures, mentoring students, and promoting education, particularly in the fields of science and technology. He became a visiting professor at various prestigious institutions, including the Indian Institutes of Management, IIMs, in Shillong, Ahmedabad, and Indore, and the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, IIST, among others. Kalam's vision for education was deeply rooted in his belief that innovation and creative thinking were the keys to unlocking India's potential. Even in his post-presidential years, Kalam was not just a figurehead or ceremonial presence in academic institutions. He was a deeply engaged teacher. His lectures were packed with his characteristic energy, and his interactive sessions with students always left a profound impact. His favorite topics revolved around leadership, innovation, and the importance of ethics in science. Students often marveled at how Kalam, despite his age and towering achievements, remained humble, approachable, and eager to listen to their ideas. Throughout his life, Kalam authored numerous books, each aimed at different audiences, but always with a central theme of inspiring people to achieve more and contribute to nation building. His most famous work, Wings of Fire, 1999, an autobiography, offers a detailed account of his life, starting from his humble beginnings in Ramaswaram to his work in India's space and missile programs. The book has since become a bestseller and is considered essential reading for young Indians aspiring to make a mark in the fields of science, engineering, and leadership. Kalam's other significant books include Ignited Minds, Unleashing the Power Within India, 2002, in which he talks about the immense potential of India's youth and how their energy can transform the nation. In Mission India, 2005, he elaborated on his vision for a developed India and outlined practical steps for achieving it. His Turning Points, A Journey Through Challenges, 2012, which details his experiences as President of India, sheds light on the tough decisions he had to make during his tenure and how his life transitioned from science to politics. Apart from his literary contributions, Kalam also initiated several programs aimed at promoting research and innovation. He was a strong advocate of PURAs, providing urban amenities in rural areas, a concept he put forward as a means of achieving balanced regional development by ensuring that rural areas had access to the same amenities as urban areas. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam passed away doing what he loved most, interacting with students, on July 27, 2015, while delivering a lecture on Creating a Livable Planet Earth at the Indian Institute of Management, Shillong. Kalam suffered a massive cardiac arrest and collapsed. He was rushed to the hospital but could not be revived. He was 83 years old. His sudden demise sent shockwaves across the nation, and people from all walks of life mourned the loss of the beloved Missile Man and People's President. Kalam's funeral was attended by thousands of people, including political leaders, scientists, and citizens from across India. He was laid to rest in Rameswaram, his birthplace, with full state honors. The government of India declared a 7-day state mourning, and tributes poured in from all over the world. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi called Kalam's passing a great loss to the nation, and his message was echoed by countless others who had been touched by Kalam's life and work. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's legacy extends far beyond his accomplishments in aerospace and defense. His life is an enduring inspiration for millions of Indians, especially the youth, who saw in him a role model who, despite humble beginnings, rose to the pinnacle of national and international acclaim through sheer hard work, discipline, and a relentless pursuit of knowledge. Kalam's vision for India remains relevant even today. His dream of a developed India by 2020 may not have been fully realized within the timeframe he envisioned, but his ideas continue to influence policymakers, scientists, and educators across the country. His work on promoting education, innovation, and ethical leadership remains a blueprint for future generations of Indians. In honor of his contributions, several awards, institutions, and programs have been named after him. For instance, the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University in Uttar Pradesh is dedicated to fostering innovation and excellence in technology. Numerous schools and scholarships carry his name, ensuring that his vision for empowering the youth through education lives on. One of Kalam's most profound messages to the youth was, "Don't take rest after your first victory, because if you fail in the second, more lips are waiting to say that your first victory was just luck." This quote reflects his belief in perseverance and constant striving for excellence. Now you know who was he. If you truly respect and like him, just hit the like button. What's your opinion? Comment below. And also, if you love this type of real history, just click the subscribe button. Now let's take a leave and again meet at another interesting story. Up to that time, goodbye. Have a nice day, my friend.